and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Ode and I'm coming from Edinburgh in Scotland. You are very welcome here. I hope you will enjoy this content, and then if you are a returning viewer, then welcome back. I have another special video for you today. It's not going to be a normal podcast episode. It is going to be my knitting plans for 2024, and I'm very excited about it because I prepared for it last night and I went through sort of my stash and what I had and what project that I thought I would knit with the yarn that I had, and it was very fun and very inspiring and very, I just want to cast on everything now, as you can imagine. But yeah, so the way I am going about this video is that like I said, I have looked through my stash and I have pulled out the yarn that I have projects associated with, if that makes sense. So I have other yarn that and I don't know, I have a vague sense of what I want to make with that yarn. So like I want to make a sweater, I want to make a cardigan, but I don't know the exact patterns that I want to knit just yet. So this is not going to be in this video. In this video, it's only going to be the yarn that I have and I know what I want to make with it. It probably doesn't mean that I'm going to hopefully I make it. I may not make it throughout the year. I was looking at sort of what my plans were for last year when I made that video, and I knit some and I didn't knit others, and some yarn I had assigned to a project at that time in January, but then I ended up using for something else later on in the year. So yeah, I see this video more as like an inspiration, an opportunity for me to go through my stash and see what I have and have projects associated with the yarn, so I feel overwhelmed when I have yarn that I don't know what I'm going to use it with, even if it's just like, it's nice to have a specific pattern, but also if it's just a vague idea of like, oh, this yarn is going to be for a jacket, this yarn is going to be for a cardigan, and then I'll find the pattern when I find the pattern, that's fine. But having just a bunch of yarn and I'm like, I have absolutely no idea what to do with, I don't like that. It makes me feel a bit overwhelmed and anxious, and this is really not how I want to go through, how I want to go about things for my own personal, like that's my own personal way of doing it. Obviously you manage your yarn and your plans and your projects however you like. I'm not saying that my way is the right way of doing things, absolutely not. And I'm also not, I guess like I've mentioned, I'm not like firmly tying myself to the plans that I'm making today. If later on in the year a new pattern comes out, or like a new pattern or a new to me pattern, and I'm very inspired to knit it in a yarn that I have previously assigned to something else, then that is fine. I change my mind all the time and I'm absolutely fine with that. All right, just before we start, a tiny bit of admin. My shop is reopened. If you're new here, there's been quite a lot of new viewers from my previous video. As a job, I run a shop where I make project bags and notion pouches and stitch markers that I embroider and sew and assemble myself. And the shop was closed over like the Christmas break because I was taking a break. And so the shop is reopened as of when you're going to see this video, or as of when this video is published. So there's a full stock of stitch markers, and as of when this video is going to be published, I'm also going to restock some bags. Everything is made to order, so yeah, if you want to order something, you order something, and then I take a bit of time to make it, and then I ship it to you because there's different designs that I need you to choose and things like that. So yeah, all that to say that the shop is reopened, and as of when I publish this video, there will be bags in the shop, as well as stitch markers. Second thing is that I want to talk about is the KINT-ALONG that I am running with Venetia of The Woolly Worker as part of her charity live stream. So that happened on the 2nd of January. I joined her for about an hour and we just knit and chatted, and it was really lovely. I know a bunch of you were there as well in the comments or in the chat on the side, and that was really fun. So thank you for coming. If you were there, thank you for donating for those who did. She's raised so much money, it's incredible. So yeah, it's been a really, really fun event. And as part of that, we are doing a knit along called the Winter Set the winter set knit along. It's going to last until spring, so the 20th of March. And the idea is to knit a winter accessories set. So like a hat and a cowl, a hat and mittens, cowl and mittens, scarf, shawls, like that kind of, like 2 pieces that match, a matching set, that's what I mean. And so a few of you have started knitting already, and I've seen your photos on Instagram, because this is where we're running it. So there will be, I'm going to put all of the rules here because I feel like I'm a bit rambling. But yeah, so here are all the rules, and if you would like to participate, then that would be amazing, and come on over to Instagram to do that. And if you have started knitting on things already, then please let me know in the comments if you have pattern suggestions of things that would work well together as a set, because the pattern is designed as a set, or because if they were knit in the same yarn, they would look like part of a set or something. Then please let me know. We have a Ravelry bundle where we keep all those patterns just for inspiration. So if you want to participate and don't know what to knit, go ahead and you can look at that. Everything is linked down below. And then if you have ideas of things to add to that bundle on Ravelry for inspiration, then please let me know. All right. I think I'm going to stop here for now. And I'm going to say what I'm wearing. So I am wearing my drop pullover by Albiona McLaughlin. I knit this in 2022, I believe. It is a drop shoulder, but that's knit in the round, like I think it's called a contiguous construction or something like that, which basically you get a drop shoulder at the end, but you knit in the round from the start, which is really nice. I'm just going to stand up a bit, but yeah. And I love it. I wear it all the time. And I knit it using 2 strands of woolly knit in like 100% British wool, probably in the shade navy or something like that. It's the dark blue. And then the light blue is a strand of alpaca lace from Zakami yarn from years ago as well. So I'm not sure they have that color or that base anymore, but yeah, I love it. Wear it all the time. We have artificial light today because it is a very rainy, very gloomy day. So it's not the best lighting, but that's what we've got. It's winter and it's Scotland, so gotta work with what you have. All right, let's just jump into the video now. So I have organized things kind of like in my previous video into categories. So I'm going to start with garments, and then I'm going to move on to accessories, then I'm going to move on to socks, and then I think I have one like house stuff. So yeah, I'm grabbing this in no particular order, just whatever is handy for me. I don't know, some things I know when I'm going to cast on, some I don't, so that's just that. It's just for inspiration, it's just for fun, it's just to also feel a bit more in control of my stash, so yeah. All right, let's start with the first one, and the first one that I have is this beautiful cone from Iona Wool. If you know me, you know that I absolutely love Iona Wool. It's one of my favorite yarns. And this is their Aran weight, 160 meters per 100 grams. This is a 500 gram cone, and this is in the shade Post Box because it is literally the color of the post boxes in the UK. And it is very beautiful. And with this, I would like to make a Lento sweater by Jonna Yatella, I think. I'll always put pictures here of the patterns that I'm talking about. And yeah, the pattern is designed for, I think, like a sport or like a strand of fingering and a strand of mohair or something like that, but at a very loose gauge. I think the needle size recommended is like 6 millimeters or something. I've already made one, the light gray one that I was wearing in my previous video, and I love it. And it's just a basic raglan that fits really well, so I think even with like a thicker yarn I can definitely make one, and it's going to be a bit more dense, which I'm very happy about. So yes, this is project plan number 1, and I see this as like probably something that I would just like wear at home for work, or just something cozy and comfy, a bit oversized if I can. And ideally something where I can use most of the cone for, so I don't really have any leftovers. That would be really nice. All right, second project is going to be another red project, and this is, so I've put little pieces of papers in the label so I remember what project I want to knit with. And so the yarn is this beautiful yarn by Durerum Natura. It's their Serrano base, which I believe is their thicker base that they've got. It is 100% wool, 150 meters per 100 grams, so also kind of like an Aran weight, is very like plump as a yarn. The shade is Aubépine, and yeah, it has like a very, very slight like heathered look with a bit of black. I don't know if it's gonna show on the camera. Maybe it will, I'll find out when I edit that. And yeah, so I've had this yarn for quite a while. Actually, I bought it like some years ago, and then I knit in 2022, I want to say, I knit a crescendo by the Knit Pearl Girl with it. I just had some yarn left over. And I ended up this year, over Christmas break, I ended up frogging this sweater because I was just never wearing it. The fit wasn't the best. I should have made the sleeves longer and things like that. But also, yeah, I guess it's not really to my taste anymore, or it's not really my style anymore. And I really like this yarn. I really like this color. And so I didn't want it to just sit there. Like, I wore it probably twice. And so I've decided to frog it. So it's all in a heap up there that I need to, like, I frogged it. I wound it around my Swift, like put little ties, like the way you have when you buy a skein of hand dyed or something, put it in the bath so it would relax and not be all noodly. And it's dry now, and I just need to wind it back into cakes. I think I was able to get most of it back, and I think in total I may have either 500 grams or 600 grams, because I can't remember if I'd ordered 5 or 6 skeins. And what I would like to make instead with this is the Fennel Seed Jacket by Florence Miller of Handmade by Florence. Now, this pattern is currently in testing. I am not testing it. So I'm waiting for it to come out. I'm not entirely sure that this yarn is like will work for this pattern. I do believe that this pattern is in Aran weight, but I'm not sure. So I'm gonna wait until the pattern comes out and see if this yarn actually fits. But ideally, if it does, this is really what I would like to make it with. It looks like a really nice, it's like a broken rib kind of jacket, and it quite like a dense fabric. I know Florence likes like dense material, like dense fabric when she knits her sweaters, which I really like as well. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I think it will make like a really nice piece. I could see myself wearing like a dark red cardigan / jacket more than the sweater that I made before. So yeah, that's the plan. Again, if I have enough yarn, if I can get gauge, and all of this. So we'll see. Waiting for the pattern to come out, which I have a feeling that the test knit ends like towards the end of January, so maybe in February the pattern will come out, but we'll see. I really love this color though. I think it's very, very nice. So yeah, so that is that. I'm just gonna throw all the yarn on the floor. All right, moving on to the next one is this yarn by Woolly Knit. So just FYI, because of the way my light is, everything that I show you is slightly warmer in real life. The light is quite cool, but yeah. So this is the colorway Harvest by Woolly Knit, and they're 100% British wool. I got in a hank because I think when I ordered it they no longer had the cone, but it's kind of the same. The hanks are 200 grams, and I have 3 of them, I believe. And so this was already in my my plans for 2023 video, so the same video as this, but from last year, to make a javelin pullover by Tetri Lutsak. I'll put a picture. This is still a plan. This is still an option for this yarn. Although another option that I have in mind is the Field Cardigan by Camilla Vad, and yeah, which came out this year. So yeah, I don't quite know yet what I'm gonna do. I'm kind of tempted to do the cardigan with it, because yeah, I feel like it would be, I don't know, like a nice golden yellow, feels appropriate for that kind of cardigan. It's something that I could see myself wear in summer, and I would definitely wear a cardigan in summer more than I would wear a sweater. So so yeah, we'll see. I think you may hear the cat meowing at the door, but never mind. I think my husband is going to take care of it. She doesn't like closed doors. She's very curious and she needs to know where everyone is and what everybody is doing. But, just a cat. Anyway, so yeah, that is this. So either the field cardigan, I would hold it double because it's his fingering weight, and I think the field cardigan is DK. So yeah, either a field cardigan or javelin pullover. We will have to see. Or maybe it's going to make it into another year. I'm not going to knit it this year, and it's going to be until next year. Hopefully not. But yeah. All right, moving on. I have this yarn, which is quite new. You may have seen it in my Vlogmas. This is Hillesvåg Varde. I don't know how to pronounce Norwegian, so excuse me. I know a few of you are Norwegian, like watching the video. I'm really sorry. I have no idea how to pronounce Norwegian words. I bought this when I was in Oslo earlier this year. I have 3 skeins of that, and the plan is to make a weekend slipover by Petite Knit. I would need to hold it double, but I'm fine with it. And hopefully 3 skein is enough. According to the pattern, I would probably need, well, I don't really know, because for my size, it says that I need 4 skeins, or like 400 grams, but then it says also that like the next 3 or 4 bigger size ups from me also need like 400 grams. So I'm thinking that for my size, it takes like barely more than, like it barely goes into the 4th skein, and I am planning to make the sleepover much shorter than she is, because I think it's quite long, quite oversized, and I don't want to have it that long. So fingers crossed I will have enough yarn to make it. We'll have to wait and see, but I really like it. It looks like beautiful yarn, and this is something that I would really like to have and to be able to wear in the autumn. So maybe something that I would knit over the summer, or I don't know, we'll have to see, but it's such a beautiful color. It's called red brown. So yeah, so that's another plan. A lot of sort of reddish colors right now. I realized yesterday when I was sorting out my things that I didn't really have any green, but then I'm currently knitting a green sweater, and because those are kind of like my colors, like earthy tones, like foresty tones, I guess. I mean, like, except today maybe. But yeah, it's interesting because it seems to be a lot of like yellows and reds and rusts right now, but we'll see where the year takes us. All right, I have 2 more garments to show you. The next one is this yarn that I've got. I've had it for a couple of years now, I want to say, and it's Soft Donegal by Studio Donegal. It's like a tweedy yarn, like a gray yarn with bits of brown and black and white and beige, and it's very beautiful. It is 190 meters per 100 grams, so I guess like a heavy DK, maybe something like that. I had originally, I think this was in my video last year as well, I had originally bought it to make a pattern that I don't remember the name of, but a sweater that I don't want to make anymore. And I have 600 grams of it, so I could make something potentially quite like demanding in yarn, I guess. And so my idea is to make more of a jacket with it. I have enough, at the moment, I know that I have enough to make the Eva cardigan by Petite Knit, so that is an option. However, I have a couple of books coming to me that I've ordered that have like nice cabled sweaters, which maybe that would work, cabled cardigans, jackets kind of things, so maybe that would work for that. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but I kind of like see it as a jacket as well, so, or like a cardigan that could be worn as a jacket, so like something nice, like thick and squishy. So we'll see. And like I said, I have 6 skeins, I have 600 grams, which for me, for my size, is quite a bit. Usually for a sweater, I use like 420 grams. So to me, that's like, I could do something with maybe textured like cables that require more yarn or something like that, or like a more of an oversized jacket kind of piece. So we'll see, to be continued, we'll see. But I really would like to use it this year. It's very beautiful. So we will see. And then the last one, but not the least, and the one that I'm gonna knit, that I'm gonna cast on like before the end of the month, I believe, is yarn that I bought in Oslo as well for a Celeste sweater by Petite Knit. So I got the pure KINT, which is what is recommended, if it's gonna focus. And so the main color that I bought for the body, like whatever the main color is, what does it say? Does it say numbers? 100% Norwegian wool. Oh yeah, okay. I think it's just got numbers. So it's 2511. It's like a beige, like marzipan kind of beige. Very nice, I think. And then so I have 10 of these in this big bag. And then my contrast colors are, or like my colors for the yoke are these 4 colors. Which I guess this pattern is really good. It's known to be really good as well because I think for all the sizes you only need 1 color for the yoke of each color, so that's nice. But yeah, I really like this color palette, and I'm very much looking forward to casting this on. I'm doing a colorwork sweater right now. I'm testing the blue sweater for the Crea Bea, but I've just finished the colorwork part, so now I'm all that I need to do is stockinette or ribbing. So I think so that becomes a mindless project, and so I think I'm gonna cast on, or I'm gonna swatch first of all for this and then cast on this, so I have one not interesting, but one more engaging project and then one more mindless project, which is how I like to do things. So yeah, I'm very, very much looking forward to do this. A lot of people are knitting the Celeste sweater. I was very much inspired by, I really liked Florence's, again, like handmade by Florence. She had a really nice one with shades of blues and beige, but she tends to like cooler tones compared to me. And then I saw someone on Instagram who had this color palette, so I bought the exact same yarn. Oh no, I think they had a dark gray instead of the dark blue, but I decided to go for a dark blue instead. There's Caroline of Caroline Knits who just finished hers, and it's so pretty. The main color is, if you know it, the cinnamon color of Peruvian Highland wool, Felcolana. And then I think in her yoke she's got some black and some like either white or cream, some gray, and I think some dark green as well. It looks very, very nice. And then Lily of Hester and Locke is also knitting on one in shades of like warm pink and greens, I want to say, unless I'm mistaken, but it's really, really nice. And so yeah, I'm very excited to start knitting on mine. It is pure KINT. I've never used it before, so I'm quite excited to try. I know some people say it's very itchy, but I've been doing this a lot and I don't think I find it itchy, so we'll have to see. I have a pretty good tolerance for yarn, so yes, that is the last project, or like my last plan in terms of garment. Let me have a sip of water. Moving on to accessories. So again, I'm just gonna grab what I have. The yarn is in a box here. The first one is also gonna be something that I'm gonna cast on very, very soon because it is Kyle's Christmas present. I wanted to gift him, he doesn't have mittens, and so I wanted to gift him mittens for Christmas that I made myself, like sail boot mittens, but he has like large hands and everything, and this is definitely something that I want him to be able to try on as I knit to make sure that it fits, and also I wanted him to pick the pattern, so obviously I couldn't do it as like a surprise or secret or whatever. So what I did is that I gifted him the yarn and told him that I was gonna knit it for him, and like he would choose the pattern and all that. So the yarn is this yarn that I bought in Norway. It's Rauma Fennel, and in the shade 0400 and 4387 is like a dark blue and a white. basically. And yeah, I am very, very excited to try this yarn. I've never tried it before, so but I have a feeling that it's a bit of the Norwegian equivalent of our like Shetland wool in like Jameson's wool in Scotland. So yeah, and the pattern that he picked is the Overick Mittens by Skin Deer Knit. So I made a pre-selection for him of patterns to choose from, because a lot of color work, like Farah hats or color work mittens and things like that, are a lot of the time available in only one size, which you can modify the size by using larger needles, but I don't have a lot of experience in that area, and so I am not confident just doing that, basically just taking a pattern that comes with just one size and know what size needles I need to use to make it bigger and all this. I don't. So I basically, in the selection, like pre-selection that I gave him, all the patterns were from Skein Deer Knits, because she's really good at having a lot of sizes, including one that she calls men large, which I'm assuming or hoping would be good for Kyle, and telling you the size is going to be, what needles to use, what gauge to get, etc., etc. So yeah, I wanted to knit one of her patterns, like that's what felt safe to me, and he chose the Overick Mittens. I'll have put a picture here. The way that he would like it, however, is to swap the colors. So I think in the patterns it's like a dark blue or black, I don't know, motif on a white background, and he would like it the other way around. So this is what we're gonna do. So I have fluff everywhere. I'm currently knitting a pair of mittens for myself, but I'm almost done. So sorry. So as soon as I'm done, I will cast these on, and yeah, hopefully they don't take too long, so he can have them soon, now that it's getting, like, it's quite cold at the moment, and he could use them. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So that's that. What else? A lot of blue I see in accessories. The next one is this yarn that I've had for quite a while. Let me show it to you. Right, so these are two skeins. Sorry, I should have said that. So these are two skeins of Ginger Twist hand-dyed yarn. So Ginger Twist is my local yarn shop. And one is, there's a sock yarn, which is called Sheepish Sock, which is 80% BFL and 20% nylon. And then the other is their silk mohair, which I don't have the label on, so I don't know exactly like how much of silk and how much of mohair, but silk mohair, and both of them are in the colorway Hocus Pocus. It's this really nice, like dark navy / teal and things like that. I've said before, I'm not the best with mohair. I find it quite itchy, although this one I've tried and seems to be okay, so I'm hoping that it will be, because what I want to make with it is called the Bombec Hood by Emily Louis. I put a picture here, and it's a hood, and the idea that I had is that I have this, how is it called? Is it called like a Macintosh or something? Those like yellow raincoats, you know, that like sailors have or used to have. I have one of these that I use a lot when it's raining here. The thing is that while it is very nice and waterproof, it is not the warmest, and the hood is quite large, so I can wear a hat underneath, but I thought I would make like a nice hood so it also covers my neck and my head, and then I can pull the waterproof, like the hood of the coat over it. So I've never made one of these hoods. I've never, to be honest, I don't think I've ever seen anyone wear one of them, but it seems like a good idea, and it seemed like a good way of using this yarn, because like I said, my jacket is like my raincoat is yellow, like the normal yellow, but the inside is striped white and navy, so I thought that would go well with it as well. So yes, that is in the plans, and that would be a good way of using this yarn that I've had. I think this is one of the first skeins of hand-dyed yarn that I bought when I started knitting, and I started knitting in 2020. Well, I guess very end of 2020, so let's say 2021. So it's been in my stash for at least 2 years, or close to 2 years. So yeah. Next, accessories, and it is again some blue. It's really interesting because like I'm not always thinking of like, oh, I already have this color in my stash or whatever. When I buy yarn, it's a lot like there's some consistency in that. I know the colors that I like, and Like I'm not going to buy purple, for example, or pink, because those are not really colors that I wear a lot. But then I'm not like, oh, I already have this that's blue, or I already have this that's brown. It's just like, oh, this is a beautiful blue, I want it. So, and it turns out that now there's a lot of blue in accessories. So really interesting. This yarn is Kinross for Apply in the shade Scots Pine. It is a many of us Scottish podcasters have used it. It is a Scottish yarn. It's by County Yarn, the brand. And I have 4 skeins of that, so 200 grams in total, that my dad gifted me when we went together to Glasgow School of Yarns. And this is yarn that I want to use to make a set, winter accessory set, as part of our KINT-ALONG. And I'm going to make the Hiedra headband and mittens by Fibertail. So yeah, very excited about that. It's going to be really, really nice, I think. And it's such a beautiful color. And I think, like, I like to wear all the autumnal colors, but I do find that in winter I am more drawn to blues and grays, and I think they suit me quite well. Or I've always been told that the blue suits me quite well because I've got blue eyes and like dark hair or something. I don't know. I just like it. I think it's a very pretty color. So yes, that's going to be another very nice accessory set that I'm going to cast on very soon. I mean, I say I'm going to cast everything on very soon, but I'm going to cast it on when I'm going to cast it on. All right, let's move on to something green. I have this ball of yarn. I actually have 2 that I bought last year when I went to, last year in September when I went to Shetland for Shetland Wool Week. There's a very nice heathered dark green. This is yarn by West Lynne Wool, which is like a craft or crafters on Shetland that make their own yarn. It is a DK weight yarn, 110 meters per 50 grams. And what I would like to make with that is the Windbound Mittens by Lindsay Fowler. So I have 2. I think that should be more than enough. I think this yarn may be a little bit, I think the pattern might call for an Aran weight, but this yarn is, I would say, a heavy DK, and it's quite plump, so I'm sure I'll be fine. But yeah, I think it's going to be very pretty, and I'm very much looking forward to knitting with it. It is Shetland wool, so like it's fine for me. It's not something I'm sensitive to at all. I also find, I know some people have sensitivity on their wrists, but I don't think I do. So yes, continuing with the accessories. I have little bits of paper everywhere now because I take them out every time, and then I have a pile of disorganized yarn right here. All right. The next one is also, well, the next 2 actually are also wool that I bought in Shetland in September, and they are both to make color work cows, or I think they're both called snoods. It's the one that you wrap a couple of times. And this one is for the Sea Swell Snood by Nicole Coots. And this is what it looks like. Again, kind of like in shades of blues. Interesting. This is the recommended yarn used in the pattern, like the yarn itself and the colors. I really like it. And this is a pattern that is in Shetland Wool Week 2021. I'll show a picture here, but yeah, it's very pretty, I think, and I think it's also going to be quite easy and mindless to knit. I don't find, like, I mean, you do have to pay attention when you knit color work, obviously, because you have to read the chart, but some motifs I find are quite easy to, like, you can read your knitting and kind of know what you need to do next in a way. And I also find that I can watch TV while I knit color work, for example, because in the back of my mind, I have sort of like the rhythm of the round, you know, like you do find in your head, like, it's like 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. And, you know, it's like, especially when it's just 2 colors, you know, you switch every time. And it's just, I find that like my brain and fingers just do it on their own, and then I can still watch TV. It's really fun. I find it really, really fun. I really enjoy color work, even though I'm very, very new to it still. The yarn, I don't know if I said, is Jamieson's of Shetland, their Spindrift yarn. bought from the shop in Lyric. Let me see if they have colors. So this greenish color is called Pistachio, color 791. The white is not, it's their 104 natural white. So it's not sort of like the bleached white, it's more like the natural cream white. And then the blue is 769 Willow, which is also a very pretty color. So yeah, that is the next project. And so the other snood that I was telling you about that I was going to make out of Shetland wool as well is the Fullest Nude by Donna Smith Design, and I am planning to make it in these two beautiful colors by Jamieson and Smith this time. It is their Jump Away 2-ply, so this and the one that I showed you before is pretty much the same yarn, like very, very similar yarns, just from two companies. But so I'm going to use these two. These are not, I was originally going to go for the colors in the pattern, which I think is like a natural white, again, like more like a cream white and a light gray. But then when we went to the shop in Lyric, to the Jamieson and Smith shop, I saw this color, which I absolutely love. It's their FC46 mix, which is so pretty. And I know one of you, I've shown that before in my Shetland vlog, I think, and someone was saying like, oh yes, the like the FC colors of Jamieson and Smith are really, really nice, and I absolutely agree. It's more their heathered colors, and they're so, so beautiful. I love them. And then the white, like the cream white that was originally planned in the pattern, just I don't think went with this too well. So I got their really white, which is called Optic White. So that's like a pure, bright white. For, the Fullest Nude by Donna Smith. I don't know that, I think that's just like a one-off pattern that she designed. I don't think that was part of any of like the Shetland Wool Week annual, but I'm not entirely sure. And then last but not least, the next accessory is also, sorry, my papers just fell and it's just near the microphone, so I hope it's not too annoying for you. But the next bit of yarn is this beauty. This is, I don't know if it's focusing, Gilead by Durarum Natura, in the shade Bouleau, which is birch, like the tree. And that is, I think, like a DK kind of yarn, 250 meters per 100 grams. It is so squishy. Like Durarum yarn is so nice and squishy. It's merino. And what I plan to, I have, I think 5 or 6 of that. And what I plan to make is the Grow Shawl by Fibertails. I think that would look very nice to have a nice sort of like light gray winter shawl that could go, like, it could go very well with this sweater actually. And and I think that's going to be a joy to knit because I absolutely love Fibertails pattern. I've made the Homely, which you probably have seen in my previous video, shawl. And I love the details that she has. I love the construction that she uses, and I think, and the Grow Shawl has, I believe, like that sort of like braid thing that she does in some of her designs where you have to sort of like rip back a few stitches and like re-knit them, like sort of braid them. It's so pretty. I love it. So this yarn is for that. I think I have more of this yarn that I need. So depending on how much I have left, I might make a matching grow hat, although I have heard from podcasts and a few of you have actually like warned me that the grow hat tends to run quite small. So definitely something that I will keep in mind before casting on, if I decide to cast on. If I have like more yarn left, like let's say if I just don't have more than just one ball that I could use for a hat, I might knit something else instead, but I don't know, we will cross that bridge when we get there. So that is the end of the accessories. I don't know how we're doing for time, let me look. 39 minutes, that's not too bad. I have my phone, like I'm filming with the back lens, but then I have like a small mirror propped on top so I can see the screen through the mirror. But then it's like I don't see the whole screen, so I have to like bend down to see the time. Anyway, you don't care about that. All right, I'm gonna move on. No, drink water. I realize that this is the least cute thing, but it works so well for me. So water, because I keep talking and I'm gonna get dehydrated. I am going to move on to socks now. And I have a ton of sock yarn. Let's just put this out there. I have a ton of sock yarn. I have loads of superwash sock yarn. And then if you've been following me for at least the past like 6 months or so, you know that I am on this little project of knitting no nylon non-superwash, or of trying out no nylon non-superwash sock yarn. And so I'm starting to have a bit of a collection, let's just put it that way. And so this is what I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to talk about my superwash sock yarn. I think a lot of them are going to be the vanilla sock anyway, because they're either like quite heavily speckled or variegated or something, and not necessarily appropriate for a pattern. So yeah, I'm not going to talk about that, but I have here, let me grab it. I have here my cute little basket of no nylon non-superwash sock yarn. Can I show you this without knocking into the mic? Yes, there you go. And so I have some patterns. I have associated some patterns. I have paired, not associated. I have paired some patterns with some of those skeins, but definitely not all of them. So I'm only going to show you the ones that I have patterns for. Can I put this here? Nope, it's going to fall. Is this gonna fall? Hopefully not. So the first one is this. So usually these yarns I've bought maybe a couple online, but I usually buy them at festivals and things like that. So yeah, I've bought some online, some have been gifted. So yeah, I've bought them from a bunch of places, but this one right now I have bought at Tangled Galashiels last year in June. The yarn festival, and it is by Black Isle Yarns. It is this absolutely beautiful warm honey kind of color. I love it. It is so pretty. What I like too is that I don't think, unless they're by the same dyer or maker or whatever, I don't think any of those skeins are the same blend of yarn. So that is, I find that really, really fun, because then I can see like how they knit, how they wear differently depending on what they're made of. So this one is made of BFL, and so Blueface Lister and mohair, 80% BFL and 20% mohair. The BFL comes from a Scottish farm that I think is not too far from where, yeah, it says grown in the Highlands and spun in the UK. And Black Isle yarn is from the Black Isle, which is in the islands. And then the mohair is from South Africa. It's a 4-ply yarn, and the colorway is called Rust. It's naturally dyed. And what I want to make with that is the Humlebee socks by Fibertail. So yeah, very excited about that. You will see that I have, well, I'm going to show you the next two skeins are also for patterns by Fibertail. I'm not sure this is going to stay upright until the end of the video. The next one I also bought at Galashiel Yarn Fest, like Tangled Galashiel last year, and it is from Whistlebear. It is their Cuthbert sock base, 300 meters per 100 gram. And it is made of Whistlebear's own mohair, and then 80%, and then 80% Whistlebear's own Wensleydale wool. So before it was mohair BFL, now it's mohair and Wensleydale. It is this color, like a sage green. Can you see the sheen on that? That's part of the mohair, but that's also like Wensleydale has a sheen like this. It's so beautiful. And so this I want to use to make the Grow socks by Fibertail. So that's that. It's so pretty. I love it so much. It's quite also like, I mean, I know they're both 100 grams, but this one feels quite light and bouncy. It has a high twist, but this one doesn't have as much of a high twist, and it has more drape, so it feels heavier somehow, even though it's exactly the same weight. But yeah, I like it. And then the next yarn that I'm gonna knit into a Fiber Tales pattern is for the Var socks by Fiber Tales, so the one with the little flowers. I kind of fancied having a collection of like the bee, the leaves, and the flower. I thought it would be very cute. And this is this beautiful skein by Wild and Bare. So I know I said I don't like purple. I don't really wear purple and pink, but for socks I don't mind at all. This is the label. If it focuses, yeah. And I've knit this yarn already in like a light purple colorway. I showed it in my previous video. It's what I call my Miss Marple socks. I think the pattern is called the St. Mary Mead socks or something. I love this yarn. It's so warm and it wears so well. I love it. And yeah, the dyer, I had ordered one, and then the dyer very kindly sent me another one, so I'm so grateful, and I can't wait to knit with it again. This blend is very unique and I like it a lot, and it is made of 89.5% blend of Exmoor horn, Dartmoor, close wool, and Texel, and then 10.5% Tencel. So Tencel is like it's not really a plant, it's like a recycled plant fiber or something like that. It's kind of like viscose or something like that, which I guess is like a natural fiber in a way, and it plays the role of the nylon, I guess, of like the strengthener in that yarn. Sourced in Cornwall, Devon, and Hampshire, spun in Cornwall, and dyed, I believe, in Cornwall as well. And the colorway is Flora, and it's so pretty. So yeah, and it's 350 meters. What I found with those no nylon on superwash yarn is that they tend to be like more like heavy fingering. Yeah, heavy fingering weight. Like a lot of superwash stock yarn is going to have 400 meters per 100 gram. That's just sort of the standard. These tend to be a bit more plump and things like that. So you usually have 350, 360, 300 sometimes, which I'm fine. That's like, I'm not running out of yarn for a pair of socks. Absolutely not. I do have some leftover afterwards, and I think I'm keeping them, and I might like combine them to make like a stripy pair of sock or something. But yeah, so that's that. And then I think there's just one more that I have a pattern assigned to it. I'm just gonna put the little bucket on the ground again because it's gonna fall. And it is this yarn that I bought at I either bought it last spring at the Scottish Wool Producer Showcase in Perth, or I bought it last autumn at the Scottish Yarn Festival. It's the same organizer. I can't remember if it was in the spring or in the autumn, but yeah, it's by the Wool Library, which is sort of like a project in the UK that works on like promoting and researching British wool and British breed specifically. It is amazing. I'll link their website in the description. I highly encourage you to have a look. I think it's really interesting. But yeah, and so they were trying out new sustainable blends. So I actually got 2 yarn from them in 2 different blends, but the green one, I don't know yet what I'm gonna knit with it. But let me just tell you the pattern, and then I'll tell you what it's made of. But this, I think I want to make the Petal Drop Socks by Florence of Handmade by Florence. I didn't realize that she was going to be so present in my episode today. I'm absolutely not mad about it. Her patterns are absolutely beautiful. But yeah, that's a few patterns from her if you're interested and looking for some inspiration. But yeah, I think I'm going to do the Petal Drop Socks. I have a feeling that it might be a free pattern or like a pay what you want kind of pattern, but I am not sure. So anyway, so this is sorry. So that like apricot kind of color is, or peach or whatever you want to call it, is made of 70% Cheviot and 30% nettle. So I think that will be very interesting to knit with. And then the other one, I don't know what pattern I'm going to use yet, but it is made of, sorry, I have to get a drink because my throat is very dry from all the talking. And this is, so the green one is made of 70% Cheviot and 30% soy. Which I'm really excited about. I don't think I've ever knit with Cheviot. I had heard of nettle being used in sock yarn as the like reinforcer kind of thing, like the nylon substitute if you want. But I've never tried it. I've never heard of soy being used that way, so I'm really looking forward to that and see how it works. Yeah, it's also a very pretty color. So I think all of these sock yarns, like I have a bunch of patterns in my library on Ravelry already, and I also have the 52 Weeks of Socks books, so I think I'm gonna draw from that as much as possible. I realized that I haven't used my books as much as maybe I feel, as much as I feel like I should. I feel like I don't, I guess because the patterns are not like in my Ravelry favorite in the same way. I don't always think about it, and I feel kind of bad because they're absolutely beautiful books. So I do want to make more of an effort to use my books in the future, definitely. I also have another book coming to me very soon, which I'm really excited about. And yeah. Anyway, before, I'm just realizing now that I forgot something in the garment section, and so I'm just going to touch on that before I show you the very last thing, which is a like home stuff, like not something that you wear, but yeah. And it's a sweater that I want to make, but I don't have the yarn with me just yet. I ordered it on Saturday, I think, so it just, like it needs a few days to get here. And this is the Levi pullover by Sari Nordland. I will put the pattern here. I am very much, my friend Venicia is currently knitting hers, and I'm like, I want to make one too, like I just, because it's so nice. And now I can, like, now that I've learned color work and all those designs are options for me, I just want to knit all the color work, And so the yarn that I've picked for it is, so I'm going to leave the picture here so I can like tell you, and then I'll maybe put pictures of the yarn that I bought. So in the white, so hers is like white, gray, and black. So instead of the white for mine, I'm going to use Filcolana Peruvian Highland Wool in the shade Marzipan Melange or something like that, which is like a cream, I guess. Instead of the gray, I believe, I am going to use the Peruvian Highland Wool in the shade Cinnamon. And then, also, believe it or not, I've never used Peruvian Highland Wool, and I've never knit a Sari Nordland pattern. Like, how, I don't even know how that is possible. But yeah, that's the truth. So I'm really looking forward to trying both the pattern from a new to me designer. I mean, I know of her obviously, but like you know what I mean. And then trying a yarn that I haven't tried before. And then for the black, I wanted to do like a dark green. The thing is that I find that Peruvian Highland Wool is not the best when it comes to greens. Like they have tons of grays and browns, which I love. They're very beautiful. But I think they only have 2 greens, and neither of them was quite what I had in mind. So for the green, I got Peer Gynt in the shade, I think it was Dark Forest or something like this. It's like a nice warm dark green. I was wondering if Peruvian Highland Wool and Peer Gynt would knit well together. Like Peer Gynt is very, very slightly thicker, but like not by much. It's like 100 meters per 100 gram and 91 meters per 100 gram or something like that. So it's not really a big difference. And so I asked on Instagram if anyone had used them together, and Caroline of Caroline Knits that I was mentioning before, she did. For her Celeste sweater, she used a bit of both, and she said it works just fine. So I'm really, really, really looking forward to receiving that. And my plan is, depending on where I'm at with my Celeste sweater that I'm about to cast on, I would like to cast on the Levi pullover for my birthday, which is at the start of February. So cast it on as like a birthday cast on, and then knit on it throughout February probably. I think it's Aran weight or something, so I think it would knit probably quite fast, and yeah, and I would have plenty of time to wear it still this winter, because yeah, it's Scotland and it doesn't get, like, winter lasts quite a while. It lasts until at least like April or something like that. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I'm sorry I forgot to mention this before. It's just I don't have the yarn with me, so I slipped my mind. But yeah, I'll show you the yarn in my next podcast episode. And so the very last thing that I have on my list of plans for 2024 is a hot water bottle that I would like to make. So I want to make the Maxine hot water bottle cover by Laura Penrose. I bought a hot water bottle for it because I didn't have one. I don't know. I mean, I know there's a debate of like, or not a debate, but like a bit of a two teams, I guess, of people who use the hot water bottle and people who use heated blankets. But I didn't have any. I'm not a big fan of heated blankets. And anyway, I've talked about this before. So I do have now a hot water bottle, and I just need to make a cover for it. And so I'm going to make the Maxine, and I'm going to make it with 3 colors, I think. I just don't know exactly. Maybe you can help me out. So I'm going to use yarn leftover from Kyle's Colorwork Fair Isle hat, and which was all in shades of like blues like this. These are all my leftovers from, it's Jameson's of Shetland. The main color on the hat was a navy blue, but I'm going to use a white instead for the main color of the hot water bottle. And then this is what I'm thinking. Let me know what you think. So either I do it with like a bit of a lower contrast, or I don't know, I guess, like a bit in shades of blue. So I use these 3 colors, like a medium blue and a very light blue. Or because this blue is like, I mean, it's got light blue, but it also has a bit of pink in it, so it could very much like tend towards the purple. So the second option would be this. Yeah, so I don't know. I kind of had like I pictured it immediately in shades of blue, but I feel like the purple maybe works better now. I also have this one that maybe would work. This is a darker blue than before, but I find that it's a bit too lilac purpley to go with the blue, really. So this is the blue from before that also has a bit of purple. Oh, maybe this is nice actually. I don't know. Let me know either what you think. Either the blue color palette or the purple color palette. And like I said, yes, I don't really wear purple, but like it's a hot water bottle cover, so who cares? I'm fine with it. So yeah, that is the last of my projects or plans for 2024. Like I have said before, I'm not tying myself to this. I'm not going to force myself to knit any of those projects if I don't feel like knitting them anymore, just because I put them on the list today. That's fine. It's just some inspiration. It's just also for me to know that I don't have yarn that I don't know what I'm going to do with, which is something that I don't like. So I know that the yarn that I have at least enough for a specific project, and that is great. But also I am always giving myself permission to change my mind, because knitting is my hobby. It's fun, and it should stay that way. So, and also change my mind a lot, especially when it comes to like knitting and things. These are my plan today, but like I'm sure in February things will have changed already, and then as the seasons go on, like it's gonna change. So I also have that I haven't shown. I have a bunch of I have some yarn to make hats, but I don't know exactly what project that I want to make, like what hat pattern I want to use. I also have a bit of yarn to make like camisoles, like summer knits, But again, like in January, I really like I can't really like project myself into summer just yet. Like I would like to be the kind of person who is able to be inspired and knit a season ahead. So like in the winter I would knit for spring, but I'm not. I am definitely not. I am inspired by the weather and the like the nature outside, and if that says winter, then all I want to knit is winter stuff. So yes, I am very much hoping though that in the spring, in like March and April, I will be inspired to knit some summer bits, because I am going to France in June. My sister is getting married, so I'm going to spend a bit of time with my family there for the wedding, and I would very much have some like handmade knitted camisoles and things like that for there. In the hope that I'll be able to wear it. June, like early June, should still be tolerable in terms of temperature, but also like I'm used to Scottish weather now, so if it goes past 20, I'm melting. So we'll see how it is, but that's sort of my hope, is that by maybe April I feel motivated to start doing more summer bits. I'm also hoping and confident that as the days grow longer and the weather gets warmer, my sewing mojo is going to come back. I do tend to sew more in the summer, because that's also when I wear my sewn items more, like shirts and things. In the winter I just wear sweaters, to be honest, with t-shirts underneath. So yeah, like I don't really wear dresses in the winter either, whereas in the spring and summer, when the weather allows, which is not very often in Scotland, I do like to wear more shirts and dresses and things, and so I tend to sew a bit more in the spring and summer. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I might, let me know if that's something that would be interested. I'm thinking of maybe doing like this kind of video, but more like a seasonal, sort of like my summer knitting plans, my autumn knitting plans. I know a lot of podcasters do these, and I really enjoy watching them. So that could be something that I do throughout the year, to sort of like update this current video, like update, these are my plans, actually this is something that I no longer want to do, or this is a new pattern and new yarn that I have that I want to knit. So let me know if that's something that you would be interested in. And yes, on that note, I think it's been about an hour, so I am going to stop here. I think I've said all that I wanted to say, hopefully. And I will thank you very, very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this content, this episode. If you do enjoy my videos and watch them regularly but are not subscribed yet, then please consider subscribing. That helps our channels grow a lot. And that way it also means that you don't miss a video when I post, because it's going to show up in your YouTube. And yeah, like the video, comment on the video below. Yeah, tell me what projects you might be looking forward to knitting on in the new year. That would be very fun and very interesting. And yeah, I will leave you here. Once again, thank you very much for watching. I will see you very soon, probably in a couple of weeks, in a regular podcast episode, which I'm already very excited about because I have some really, really nice pieces to show you. Until then, take care and happy knitting.